Hey friends, welcome back to the studio. If you've been poking around Firebase and stumbled across something called App Check, you might have paused and thought, wait, do I need this? Is this just for big apps or is my baby project at risk too? Totally fair questions, and in this video, we are going to break it all down. I'll walk you through what App Check is, why it matters even if you're just getting started, and how to avoid beginner mistakes that sneak up on us a lot. Alright, let's set the scene. Picture your app like a trendy new nightclub. You've got the lights, the vibe, and your VIP list, but the front door, well, it's wide open. So Firebase App Check is your digital bouncer in black. Its job is to make sure only real versions of your app, the ones you actually built and shipped, are allowed in. No shady clones, no rogue bots sneaking through the alley. In tech terms, it protects your Firebase concepts or components like your Firestore, functions, storage from requests that are fake, hijacked, or totally unauthorized. Okay, but maybe you're thinking, Joy, my app is brand new. Who's even going to care? Here's the wild part. Firebase API keys are public by design because mobile apps need them to talk to Firebase. So technically, anyone could grab them and try to use them. App Check is like your personal gatekeeper. It asks every request, hey, are you really coming from my app? And if the answer is no, they don't get through. Simple as that, but super important. Let's peek under the hood, but I'll keep it simple. So Firebase App Check works by verifying two things. Is the app real, the app itself? Is the device legit? Here's how it checks on different platforms. So on Android, it uses Google's Play Integrity API. It's kind of like an airport security for your app. It makes sure your app hasn't been tampered with or cloned onto some sketchy device. Then on iOS, it uses Apple's DeviceCheck or App Attest. These are like Apple's own security agents. They make sure your app's running on a real iPhone, not some jailbroken Frankenstein phone. Then on the web, you get reCAPTCHA version 3. It runs in the background, no boxes to click, and quietly decides whether the visitor is human or a bot. So all of these tools generate a tiny digital pass called a token, and Firebase checks this token every time your app makes a request. If the token looks good, access is granted. So this is where a lot of us get tripped up. First, app check is not equal to authentication. It's not about who the user is, it's about what app is making the request. So think of it like verifying the uniform and not the employee's badge. Okay? Then, if your app isn't ready to send app check tokens, turning on enforcement is like slamming the club doors shut, even to real users. So, enabling enforcement too early can break things. Then also you must install the App Check SDK. Just checking a box in the Firebase console won't cut it. Your app needs actual code to grab and send those tokens. And lastly, debug tokens are just for dev mode. So Firebase lets you test App Check locally with a debug token, but please don't ship that to production. That's like tapping a come on in sign to the back door. So how do we do this the smart way? So here's a step-by-step checklist before flipping that switch on, which is enforcement. Add the App Check SDK to your app. Then proceed to use the debug mode while testing. Then watch the Firebase console. It will show you if your tokens are flowing. Then lastly, turn on the enforcement, but gradually, like starting with Firestore, then adding storage later, and so on and so forth. So it's all about easing in. No need to go full security lockdown before you're ready. All right, let's break down those 4 big app check mistakes again. So you turn it on or do not enforcing. One of the mistakes is enforcing too early, so you turn it on and you reload your app, and you know what happens? Nothing will work, because no tokens is equals to no access. And the reason why we don't have no tokens is because of the second mistake, where we forget to install the SDK. So if you don't add the SDK to your code, the Firebase has no idea your app is legit, and it's like RSVPing but not showing up with your invite. So it will ignore you as a real user and block you out. Then a third mistake will be, don't just show users something went wrong, since remember, if you enforce too early, nothing will work. So you need to check for app check errors that will pop up on the app level. And if needed, show a nice error message or retry. In short, always have a fallback whenever there's an app check error. So don't ignore those errors, because it will be a bad experience to the user on the front end level. And lastly, so double check that you have removed any debug tokens before release. They are very helpful in dev but very risky in the wild. So let's wrap it up with the highlights. So first, App Check is your app security bouncer. So it checks whether your app is real or your device is legit. Okay. So App Check is not equal to authentication. Next thing, it keeps out fake apps and protects your Firebase stuff. Third, it works across Android, iOS, and web. It's separate from user login. It's all about app identity, not user identity. You'll need to install the SDK and test before enforcing. So it's more than just enabling on the Firebase console. You need to do more on the app level. And don't also skip the checklist that we have just come from talking about. You'd rather do it in baby steps so that you have a smooth rollout than just enforcing at once, because everything will break. So honestly, Firebase doc can feel like a fire hose with the details and so much to read. So it's okay if this stuff takes a second to click in. You're doing great, and you've already made a smart move by watching this video. So I hope it has helped. If this has helped you out, give it a like and maybe hit that subscribe button. Got questions? I'd love to hear them. Pop them in the comments, and maybe we'll turn one into the next video. Until next time, see you on the next one.